A noisy class is not a signal that there is no effective teaching and learning. And a quiet class is not a signal that there's effective teaching and learning. So I tell school leaders that know the difference. Don't mark or don't measure a teacher by how quiet his class is as a signal for success. And don't mark a noisy classroom teacher as a signal for failure. These are not two indicators for any success.
Welcome to today's episode where we ignite the flames of education innovation with Michael. A visionary educator, blogger, and teacher trainer, Michael has transformed classrooms and teaching strategies across the globe, championing the cause of enhancing curriculum development and nurturing positive learning environment. Today, we will dive into the art of making educators shine, building teachers' brand, creating outstanding classroom experiences, and leading with impact. Join us as Michael shares his insights and strategies that light up the world of education, ensuring that every teacher not only teaches but inspires. Get ready to rethink how education can be a beacon of change and growth. Let's start with this enlightening journey with Michael. Thank you so much for being with us here today on SELINTalks. To begin on a lighter note, I would like to ask you an icebreaker question. Reflecting on your impressive journey, I read all about it. Can you share a particular book or an article that profoundly shaped your approach to education and why it stood out to you?
Okay, that's great. I believe that I've read several articles and read several books, but none of them touched me than a quote I saw. Abraham Lincoln quotes that states that give me 8 hours to prepare to cut down a tree, and I will use 6 hours sharpening the axe. And that has been the engine, or that has been the drive, because that has really, really touched me. Though I've come encountered with several books, but when I read that quote, it superseded every thought I've had about education or I've had about myself. Because the thought I got instantly was preparedness meets opportunity.
Yeah.
And if you are given 8 hours to cut down a tree and you are going to use 6 hours to sharpen the axe, then that means that you really, really, really know what you want to do. You have to prepare to get whatever you are looking for. So that has been my drive. That quote to me, it's on a frame on my wall. That every morning I look at it and I know that, yes, I don't have to stop giving up.
I'm hearing this quote after a very long time. I'm sure we must have read it in our school times. But thank you for reminding that. It really sounds influential. It actually, for me, I think it goes around the fact that we have to develop the skills before doing anything. And those skills do take time, but then it shortens the amount of time that you're going to do the actual job. And so, so that is what it resonates with me. Moving on to your professional path, what inspired you to specifically focus on, school improvement strategies and teacher training? Was there a defining moment or a particular challenge that steered you in this direction?
Okay. I think the inspiration has been something that I say every day when I meet teachers, like never underestimate every opportunity you get.
Yeah.
There are some opportunities that knocks at your door that you see it as hard work. You see it as frustrating. You see it as, this is not meant for me, or I am not the one in charge to perform that task. Growing up or after university education, the mindset is that I went to teacher education. So definitely I came out as a professional teacher. So the mindset is that I'm going to teach and retire at the age of 60 and sit home and look at old students come to social media or probably see me and say, hi, teacher Michael. That was a mindset. That was a mindset I thought growing up or becoming a teacher would be. However, after my national service in Ghana here, after your university education, you have 1 year mandatory service to the country. So after my service, definitely I was looking for a teaching job. I got a teaching job. Now, coincidentally, the school I found myself, I was the only trained teacher there. We have that huge gap in Ghana here, yes. So the head teacher there said, Michael, you are a trained teacher, so why don't you engage these teachers on Saturdays or after school, just to share some classroom practices and how to handle certain things. To me, the first thought was that that's an extra work because I have to go home. So I thought it was an extra, but I said, okay, fine, let me give it a thought. I started engagements. Then I realized that I have that potential to engage people. I started developing the public speaking confidence. I started researching to engage teachers. And boom, that sparked the whole fire. I relocated from that school, got into another school, and I got opportunity into that school because of the training experiences I've gathered. So that yielded that opportunity for me to even get the next job.
Right.
Then after spending 5 years in a classroom, I told myself that, well, it's about time I take chances. So an NGO advertised for a job that was just a 1-year contract. I told my head teacher about it. My head teacher said, Michael, that is not a good decision. No one leaves a permanent full-time job to take a 1-year job contract.
Yeah.
But the question was, I keep asking myself during that trial moment, because it was very difficult for me, was what at all is my career path? What at all do I want to achieve? The impact I want the society to feel. Is it in a classroom? In fact, I love teaching. I love teaching so much. But the question was, is it that I just want to stay in a classroom because of the learners, or to go and touch one teacher so that that teacher would touch a whole? So I saw it as a calling rather than just, changing job, because I believe that the NGO job it promised was a teacher training opportunity. So I said, let me take it up. I took it up, and I believe that I am still impacting in the classroom, because when I share practices with one teacher and that influences him or her to go back to the classroom to do a great, wonderful work, then it's more or less my impact is still felt in the classroom. So that took me out of the classroom, and it's been one NGO to the another, working as an education specialist, working as a teacher trainer, working as a consultant, and that has been my journey up to now.
It has been like a ripple effect, and I love the fact that whatever you just told, it is like you have taken chances that has helped you grow. A lot of people are very scared of that. In terms of classroom innovation, what are your key strategies for creating environments that are truly, that can truly inspire and engage the students?
Oh, okay. Well, in my years in the classroom and my years of training experiences, when I meet teachers, I tell them that, look, the teaching profession or the narrative of the 21st century has changed. And right now, every teacher must seek out creating an outstanding classroom. We are dealing with Gen Z learners that are so vibrant that they are 10 times ahead of time. So the only things that you need to deal with them, and one of the biggest challenge with Gen Z is classroom management. Managing Gen Z learners is one of the biggest threats. So my 3 takeaway to every session I have with teachers and I tell them to do is that there are 3 key elements I want you to build as a teacher. 1, build relationship, build routines, and build procedures. If you are able to master these 3 acts, then you have really overcome 90% of the classroom challenge. The narrative is that we can't eradicate 100%. Even if we achieve 100% effective teaching and learning, then somebody will be at a disadvantage. Because there are some learners by nature are kinesthetic, are vibrant, and definitely, and there are learners that are special in our classroom that every moment they are hyper. We need to deal with them. So the agenda is not to eradicate, to have a perfect classroom. I am not advocate for a perfect classroom. If you give me a perfect classroom, I'll walk away. Because a noisy class is not a signal that there is no effective teaching and learning. And a quiet class is not a signal that there's effective teaching and learning. So I tell school leaders that know the difference. Don't mark or don't measure a teacher by how quiet his class is as a signal for success. And don't mark a noisy classroom teacher as a signal for failure. These are not 2 indicators for any success. But as a teacher, for your classroom to stand out, you need to build relationship. You need to look beyond your relationship as a student, as a master-learner relationship. You need to see yourself as a learner also. You need to come down to their level and understand them. That is the first in relationship. The next one is, what are your procedures and routines? Majority of the behaviors in the classroom is because we have not communicated our expectations and our procedures and our routines to our learners. When it's break time, how do you want students to work out? When you are teaching, how do you want students to behave? When in the morning and students are submitting their assignments, what are the procedures for submitting? When there's something wrong in the classroom, what are the procedures? These routines must be communicated and recited like a mantra every morning. Because education is more or less like indoctrination. We are putting in them what we expect to see. So what you expect to see in a classroom is what you should put. But today, teachers post rules and regulations in the classroom. And when students default, they then refer them to these rules.
Yeah.
Well, I don't advocate for teachers to have rules in the classroom. Maybe we can have an issue with that. And I know our listeners will have issue with me. I don't go with rules and regulation. I believe that we have gotten to a point where we don't need to mark on a wall, teachers mount on walls, rules and regulations and consequences that come with it. I am not for that. What I believe is that if you are able to establish routines, procedures, and have the right relationship, you don't need rules to maintain your classroom.
Very true. Very, very strong statement. This is, yeah.
You don't need rules to maintain your classroom. So these are the three key elements I tell teachers. When you combine these three factors, you end up creating an outstanding classroom. And with that, you are good to go. You are good to go.
I really like the statement that you said, that you cannot determine the silent classroom having an effective learning and a noisy classroom not having an effective learning. That is very strong. Do you face some kind of a backlash for not being these these conversations that you have, that these are very structural, very conservative, they are very old school? Do you face some kind of a backlash there?
Well, as I said earlier, how do I even put it? I just want to disrupt the current education system that we run. I am an advocate for a change, and I'm an advocate for the new level of education. One thing I've come to understand, that our generation don't understand the new education we are confronting today. Teachers are managing classroom with the way they were taught. Teachers are teaching the way they were taught. But if you are teaching the way you were taught in the 20th century, then you are failing the 21st century learners.
True, very true.
And when you call 10 teachers at random, 8 of them are of the mindset that how I was brought up is the same way I can do to achieve success in the classroom. That is wrong.
Yeah.
So anytime I meet teachers, I tell them that I'm here to irritate them. I'm not here to massage. I'm not here to massage ego. I'm disruptive. I'm here to shake you. I'm here to let you have a change of mind that, look, this is not how, I know I'm young. I'm still growing. How many years have I even achieved in education after? But I believe that we need a change of mindset. We need a growth mindset. Now, few schools are even advocating for growth mindset within the African perspective. I want to have a growth mindset integrated in a school curriculum. I want to have teachers put growth mindset in whatever we do. We need that strong component. So I know sometimes my ways and practices and principles and practice can sometimes hit teachers in the chest, but I believe that I'm here to disrupt the system for every learner to achieve what they're looking for. The goal is that average learner you have in your classroom, that student you think that is not performing, you give that student a second chance. But not to just treat them as the way they are, but to believe that they can make it. And the narrative has changed. So we need to change. That is why when I put write-ups on LinkedIn, I get people, feeling intimidated and asking why the 2 dimensions, asking why that. But I always leave my write-ups open for people to judge, because I believe that people are entitled to their opinions and you need to respect them. Of course.
Yeah.
So be it. But in my little canal, I will inspire you and push you to the ladder. That's what I do.
And there's a saying, right? You have to shake the tree to get the fruits. So you have to really shake the conversations to kind of get the fruits. And I mean, that is the thing that came into my mind. And obviously, you being open to the opinions people have and everything, it's great. Having an open communication or having an open channel of communication is one of the key factors to kind of understand what is going on. So
Exactly.
that is commendable from your side. I see leadership is a very crucial component in any field, more so in education, actually. How do you approach leadership development in your training programs? And what do you think makes an effective educational leader today in 21st century slash 22nd century?
Yes. Well, I believe that today's education narrative has changed. And I tell people every day that today, I believe that it's better for educational experts to influence leaders more than even teachers.
True.
The same way we want to influence teachers more. Because one school leader can make teachers that will reflect in the line of growth in all the school. And I say this every day, the temperament, the personality, the advocacy, the beliefs, the whatever of a leader reflect in a school. The temperament of a school leader can run through the temperament of teachers in the school and even in the learners. So leadership is key. Leadership is the most important factor that if we want to see the change we are looking for, we should start from the top.
Yeah.
When you get an inspiring leader, and my story, my school leader invited me or told me that, look, Michael, you can start engaging the teachers here, there, and there. Imagine that leader never saw that potential in me. By now, maybe I will not be here having this conversation with you. But that inspiration, that push, that go ahead and do it, you can do it, from that leader inspired me to this ladder. So sometimes I believe that leaders or school leaders is everything. Whoever you are as a leader, you translate in the lives of your teachers. And if we are able to influence one leader, then you have influenced a generation. So let's keep on inspiring these leaders because they are the center of every activity. A comment from one leader cannot make a teacher, as I said. And somebody said something that hit me so hard, that teachers don't leave school because of the learners. They leave school because of the leaders. So a teacher can resign from this school, not because of the learners, but because of leadership.
I was taught this. Yeah, please, sorry. Yeah.
No, go on. I think the conversation is getting interesting.
It is. Actually, I was taught this in my business school as well, that, people don't leave the organization, they leave their managers or they leave their bosses.
Yes.
And it is all the way. And even then, I used to think, and even right now, when we're having a conversation, all of this is always top down. Whatever is going up is going to, like you said. So very resonating in thoughts.
Yes. So leadership is everything. And I think we should inspire leaders more to have a change of mindset about how the practices and principles of the all my narrative has been the 21st century education. But the bigger question is, what at all is the 21st century education? I see the 21st century education as disruptive, something that is shaking the system, something that is here to shake the narrative. AI, it's in full-time operating within the 21st century. That means that someone predicted that in the next 20 years or in the next whatever years, teachers' job will lose our job because the machines will take over. Machine learning has started. Someone can learn online and graduate and do whatever. So the narrative is changing. So we need to have an inspiring leaders to push teachers, and teachers will then push learners. So investing in leadership is everything. And one quote stand out for me so well. Someone said something. He said, leadership must be steady. If you don't study leadership, you will lead with the mind of a child. And that hits me so hard. Leadership must be steady. True. If you don't study to understand the principles and practices of leadership, you will lead with the mind of a child. And sometimes I say that leadership, gaining leadership experience comes from 90% of leadership comes from experience. So I believe that it's not about qualification. We can have someone in PhD or having masters in whatever, but cannot even lead. But experience is what masters the art of leadership. And everyone can get that. So leadership must be steady. You must learn how to lead. If not, you will lead with the mind of a child. And that can be.
This is very profound. Very profound, actually. It is making me think about my leadership styles, which is necessary once in a while. Yeah? Obviously, it
Yes.
is. It makes conversations like this actually make you question what you're doing and then kind of implement whatever I do this, whatever I learn from these conversations, I try to implement this. And yeah, actually, this is what I'm really like. I don't know how to put it. It's very humbling experience. I keep saying that it's a privilege for me to be able to have these conversations. Not a lot of people have that privilege. But through whatever we have been doing, whatever I am doing, whatever my team is doing, we are able to push
Yes,
these conversations to other people, which is why
exactly.
even be school leaders, be it university leaders, be it teachers, these conversations really matter, and this is the reason why it matters. It is
Yes,
disruptive, like you said.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, lastly, if you could offer one crucial piece of advice to new educators who are entering this field, what would it be based on your extensive experience?
Okay, to new recruiters, new teachers coming in, one thing that I really want to tell them is that, or I wish to say to new teachers anytime I engage them, is that the old teachers don't know what they are doing. So don't be influenced thinking that you are not doing it right. Remember that whatever practice, whatever idea you have can work. You see, Verma, one of the biggest threats is that when new teachers get into the old teaching, get into the system, there is this culture that gets them embedded. It's like organizational culture, and the teaching field has that organizational culture. The moment new entrants enter, they get assimilated with the old practices and the way doing things. When new teachers start being vibrant and putting out their content, the old teachers look at and try to, criticize and pull them down and tell them you are doing it right. So I tell new teachers that, look, we the old teachers, we don't know what we are doing. We are not doing it right. So if you have new idea, don't hold on to it. Implement it. There is nothing wrong, provided within the scope of the laws. Any new idea you have, let it go. Never see the old ideas as so perfect. Never see the old teaching and learning methods as so important. Remember, we are teaching 21st century students with 20th century teaching methods. All the methods, the theories were made 20th century years ago. And today, we are still advocating for them in the classroom. So you, the new teachers coming in, what idea you have is right. Never believe what the old ones are saying. Yes, old advice is good. They can give you the good advice. But when you have ideas, things that you think that you believe in, implement them. Make it work. Don't say it is not done this way. And you see, when the new ones come in, the common statement they give it to them, it is not done
Yeah.
this way. Yeah, we don't do it like this. Oh, it's not this way. That is not how we do it. But remember that the theories that we've bought into them today, the same confrontation they got when they started these theories, till later it got accepted. So the new ones, that years you are coming up with, the ways you want to integrate classroom technology, and the old ones are not doing. You see, when the old ones are not doing, you can't do it, because more or less you want to supersede the master. When you read the 48 laws of power, the first commandment is that never outshine your master. So the belief is that as a teacher, as long as you're in the system, never outshine those who are there. It's a lie.
It's a
As
lie.
long as you have principles, you have ideas, you have vibrant, you have new ways of integrating technology in the classroom, and the old teachers are not doing it. As a new entrant, that is your marketing point. That is it. New ideas, don't let it go. Implement it. Your ideas are as good as the whatever you are thinking about. Never let the old ones influence you. And that, to me, is my advice to the new ones coming into the system. It's a beautiful place to be as a teacher, and you're always welcome.
Very true. Very true. I really, the idea of this is not done right, this is not how it happens
Yes.
here. It is so engraved with everybody out there who is not putting efforts to upskill them, who's not putting efforts to kind of, learn and grow and everything. It is so innate that this doesn't happen like this, and that's a whole story. But yeah, thank you so much for this conversation. It has been thought-provoking,
Yes.
honestly. I'm going to sit and really sit with these bits and pieces of advices and your outlook towards education sector. It's really really good. There is only that there are few people on this earth who are willing to take that blunt maybe and be destructive and for the
Yes.
good obviously
Exactly.
for
Yes.
yeah, and I'm glad to have this conversation with you. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of SELINTalks featuring incredible Michael. His energy and expertise have truly electrified our discussion, diving deep into the heart of education transformation and leadership. Michael's passion for empowering educators and reshaping learning environments shone brightly, offering both inspiration and actionable strategies. We're far from done. Michael's commitment to fostering innovation will continue to spark new initiatives, and we are thrilled to collaborate further, bringing cutting edge ideas right to your doorstep. A huge thanks to Michael for his amazing insights today, and to all of you for listening and engaging with us. Keep the enthusiasm alive, stay curious, and make sure you're here next time on SELINTalks for more groundbreaking conversations that challenge the status quo and ignite change in the world of education. Till then, we'll see you soon.